Hello there. This is the final week 8 of Summer Art 1100 Art Appreciation Online. Um, we have arrived. Okay, so first and foremost, your final paper, your compare and contrast paper, is due Saturday, July 20th. I'm going to check on the deadline. Yes, it's 5 p.m. on that day. Um, as usual, I can't take any late work, so you need to get it in through Canvas by 5 p.m. Saturday 20th. The grading is going to be very quick on these because I need to get grades in very quickly just for summer grades and commencement and graduation and all that stuff. So be sure and stay on top of that. I have provided some resources for you guys to review the guidelines for the compare and contrast paper, including an example of a really strong student paper from a prior class. This student got a perfect score on their compare and contrast paper, and have uploaded it with their name redacted, just so you guys get a sense of kind of what I'm looking for, and also it can kind of help with the formatting. One piece of advice I would give to you, and I can't emphasize this enough, you don't want to choose two artworks to compare and contrast that are so different from one another that the differences really are not meaningful. It's actually, I think, easier and makes a more interesting paper to choose two artworks that are similar to one another. Maybe more similar they are to another than they are different, because then the difference in them become really interesting. So two portraits of women, for example, from two different cultures or two different time periods could make a really interesting comparison, because these two portraits, all of a sudden you start to actually see how a single female was depicted in a painting or a sculpture, etc. It can be different in one way, it can be like this in another, and then those differences actually become opportunities for you to really engage more with the work. If you choose like a Navajo blanket and a piece of Mycenaean pottery, there's just like not a lot that's like you can, I mean, they're just like so different that when you talk about why they're different, they're different because they're just different things, you know. So I would encourage you all to choose two artworks that are similar enough that the differences between them, although they may initially appear to be minor, you can actually speak more at length about them. A really classic comparison would be Brancusi's sculpture of David and Michelangelo's sculpture of David. So it's the same figure, same media, same medium. They're both made from marble, but they're completely different. The scale is different. The sort of representation of the form is different. The story, the person that they're depicting is the same, but they're depicting different aspects of them. And so that becomes like a really interesting comparison. So do some digging. If you have questions, or if you want to kind of run some by me, be sure and email me. I'm happy to help. Okay? So that's with the paper. The discussion this week is interesting because this discussion is actually going to be used for general education assessment. So we looked at contemporary work this past week, read those chapters on the 20th century and postmodernity, and the discussion this week is not necessarily about the artist from that chapter, although it could be. What I am asking you to do is to select one artist or one medium, select one artist or one art period from the whole course and discuss their relevance to art history as a whole, okay? You choose one artist or one art movement and basically talk about why it is that we studied it in this class. Why was it a part of this class? Okay, why was it relevant to sort of the progression of art history as a whole? And in doing so, you need to demonstrate for me that you have a basic awareness of art history. Often this means talking about what came before this artist and talking about what came after this artist or movement, okay? Talk about how these things kind of fit into the whole progress and what changed after this artist lived or made the work that they make, okay? This is a big discussion. It kind of asks you to draw on sort of the whole class. Obviously, you're not going to be able to explain everything about the whole class, but you are selecting one thing to talk about from the whole kind of content that we've looked at and talk about its relevance as a whole. Because this is a more important discussion, you're really going to want to prepare for it, and it counts twice. So it's worth a total of 6 points as opposed to the normal 3. Okay, the grading scale will still be the same, but it'll basically count double. Okay, deadlines are the same. Videos due on Thursday, and then the responses are going to be due on Saturday. Okay, and that is it. That is going to be it for the class. This is the last discussion. The paper is our last assignment, and as always, please email me if you have any questions or concerns. I hope that you have enjoyed this class so much, and if you see me on campus, I'm going to be teaching on the main campus. I'll be there every day. Please come up and introduce yourselves. I would love to kind of make a connection in person. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoyed the course.